All right, good evening, ladies and D-Gents. Welcome back to the Distinguished D-Gents podcast. I'm one half of the Distinguished D-Gents. I am Steve, Big Bucks Beta, and joining me as always is my co-host and my partner in crime, partner in bets. It is Jason Money Mansmann. Money Mansmann, I don't know where to begin on this Thursday night madness that was the Raiders.
I do.
Go for it.
Ding
Take
dong,
it away.
the witch is dead.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye, dickhead Brandon Staley.
I mean, I believe I did a good job.
Yeah, no, you did. Yeah, clearly you fucking did. To be fair, this was a I hate to say throwaway handicap because I think people deserve better than that. I was on the side of the Chargers. I'm taking that L like I have the last 2 weeks, but God, like the first quarter went by and I was like, wow, really glad I didn't bet this game.
That Raiders -3 bet I had in was an easy cash.
Damn. So I think the note for this week is pay attention to Money Mansmann because I have not been good lately. Towards the end of the season, it's not what I want to see.
Thursday night, man. Thursday night.
Yeah, Thursday nights, like it's been so up and down for me this year. Like there was a hot stretch I had going, and now it's like dead in the water. But yeah, no, Brandon Staley, literally your team gives up in Las Vegas. I have never seen a team lay down and die as quick as the Chargers did.
Yeah,
not that they did it. I've seen teams die like and lay down and just say fuck it. It was like the first quarter and this team was done. They wanted nothing to do with this game. They wanted no parts of the Raiders team. They are ready for this season to be over. And Brandon Staley, by the way, Brandon, happy belated birthday. It was his 41st birthday on Sunday.
Well, he could celebrate it in the unemployment line. So,
yeah, God, I'll say this: like, there's some rants I could go on. I've done enough of those. I'm not gonna lower myself and say I'm happy someone's unemployed, but I'm sad as a Broncos fan, I can no longer fade Brandon Staley. But I will say this. If you want a really good segment to watch from the sports media, look up Stephen A. Smith's reaction to the Chargers loss. Literally an hour before they announced it. Stephen A. Smith does a 3-minute rant. And he literally starts it with, it is 7:16 on the Western Coast time. And just completely eviscerates Brandon Staley and just says he needs to be fired. He should have been fired last year. Oh, and that general manager, he needs to go too. He needs to be fired. And literally he called it verbatim.
Yeah, literally Chargers owner was watching and fired.
That's what it seems like to me. The Chargers owner was watching First Take and was like, yep, gotta go.
Well, let's be honest, Stephen A was 100%. Look, I don't feel bad for Brandon Staley. Because he was a jerk off about it. Stop
100%.
asking. I'm calling defense. I believe that I'm a good coach. I shouldn't be fired. Like, really, bro? You just lost by 40. Do you know if you'll have a job next week?
I don't know. Do you think you should stay? Well, yeah, look what I've done for the past 3 years. Bottom 5 defense all 3 years. No playoff wins. You literally, this year alone, in 1-score games, 8 blown games. They did not win. 8. I mean, 2021, the Raiders game where me and you hit that round robin bet of all fucking things. 2022, the blown lead from the Jags where I said, take the Chargers first half. Jags will win in the end. And then it's 28-3 and I'm like, well, shit, I'm probably wrong. No, I actually was right. And that happened.
Yeah.
This fucking game against the Raiders, the game against the Cowboys, where they had a 2-minute drill. Brandon Staley deserves as much of the shit as he's about to get for his firing. But I will say on the flip side too, Justin Herbert, how many opportunities? I'm tired of hearing now already. Well, the Chargers is the number one destination. You have Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert has had, I think, 5 potential chances in a 2-minute drill to win the game for the Chargers, and he fucking didn't do it. He either threw an interception, went 4 and out, or like had some costly turnover. Didn't even get them in field goal range to get the game, like to miss a field goal. It's just been dud after dud after dud.
And you kind of got to wonder about Justin Herbert because they're going to have a new general manager now. So,
well, they have a new GM. They're going to have a new head coach, and I think like it wouldn't shock me if we see like I'm not going to say a Chase Daniels, obviously, but it wouldn't shock me if you see a guy like Gardner Minshew or like some other veteran quarterback out there. Next thing you know, he's going to sign with this Chargers team, and it won't be Easton Stick. And if Justin Herbert starts throwing these games, it wouldn't shock me if they put in one of the veterans towards the end of the year. They may do a hard reset. I mean, you got Keenan Allen that's aging up there. Austin Eckler's only on a 1-year deal. Like, I know they're saying this is a destination location. I would want if I'm Bill Belichick, I want no parts of the Chargers. No parts. I do not want to go to California with the taxes. I do not want a team that I'm essentially going to have to rebuild around a Justin Herbert that hasn't really shown me he can get the job done. And yeah, I don't know. There's just no security there.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to coach with that ownership group. And when you look at it, Justin Herbert's like a bad year away from being out of Los Angeles, because if you think about it, you're going to have a new GM who didn't draft him, a new coach who didn't draft him, and you just wonder, like, if they have another 7 and 10 year next year, is it going to be time to move on from old herbs?
And the narrative isn't going to be like in the offseason. It's not going to be, oh, well, Justin Herbert, like now, like I could see it now, depending on who goes there. I could see all over again. Justin Herbert, MVP potential. Justin Herbert, they could take the division. Look what happened to Kansas City. Denver's always a dark horse, but they have problems. And they're just not going to see like Justin Herbert. You've said this, I forget what week it was, but you said this before in the short we did. Justin Herbert's a loser. The Chargers are losers. They don't win. They don't like Herbert just constantly comes up short. And I 100% agree with you. I just think there's going to come a point with this Chargers organization. I could see the whole MVP hype up again. I could see them re-signing Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler and going 8-9.
Is it bad? Last point on this. Is it bad what I want to have happen? Dennis Allen gets fired by the Saints, hired by the Chargers. That would be hilarious.
Oh, God.
Is it bad I'm wishing for that? Like, I want to see it. I really want to see it.
We here at the Distinguished Heathens, we embrace the chaos. That is one of our pet peeves. Embrace the chaos that is the NFL. I would love absolutely nothing more than to see the Chargers make a boneheaded hire like Dennis Allen. Or even worse, the coach for the Atlanta Falcons. Like, I could see that
Arthur
happen.
Smith. Oh, come on.
Arthur Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, true chaos would be like a Vance Joseph being like, oh, well, DC, like I turned the Broncos around. Now I could be head coach again.
Rex Ryan, baby. Rex Ryan. Give us
Rex wouldn't go. Rex would not go to the Chargers. There's no
Josh McDaniel. No, Josh McDaniel. The AFC West.
That's who we want.
The AFC West retread.
Yeah, that's who we want. We want we want Josh McDaniels in the Chargers. That would be fucking brilliant.
I swear to God.
Could it be 3 AFC West teams? He burns into a dumpster fire.
I'm calling it now. If Josh McDaniels got hired by the Chargers, we're literally doing like a 40-minute video on that. Like, I swear to God.
Oh God, we'll have ourselves a day. But we'll move on. We got 15 games left to handicap. We got Saturday games, we got Sunday games, and we got Monday Night Football.
Yeah,
Money Mansmann. Looking ahead, I see 4 division matchups, 4 non-conference matchups, and just a lot of fucking randomness, if you ask me here. So, Money Mansmann, like, just before we even get into these games, like, what was your general takeaway with all these handicaps?
I mean, you're starting to see the eliminator games are coming out. There are some really big games on the schedule coming out, and a couple eliminator games where I think the loser is Dunzo. So yeah, I think you got some eliminator games coming. Makes for an exciting week. A couple good games. I'm looking forward to it.
There we go. Yeah, I'm ready to jump into this, and there is going to be a lot of make or break games. And we got a whole Saturday slate, and I got a holiday party I got to host. I don't know whose genius idea that was.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. My mother's turning 60, so I will be.
Ooh, big 60.
I will be with her for most of the weekend. Not watching a whole lot of football, sadly.
That's okay. We'll start with this dud. It is a non-conference matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals are currently laying 3 at home at -115. They're -166 on the money line. Vikings catching 3 +142. The over-under sits right now at 40.5. Bengals getting 80% of the money and bets according to FanDuel. Those are the odds we do use here at the Distinguished Degents. Bengals 2 in a row they've won. Vikings not looking good. Not looking good. I think you went first on Thursday night. I'll take the lead here.
Sure.
I don't have to. By the way, the last 2 weeks, guys, I have been like pure dog shit. So went away from the method I went last week. And really, I just looked at the games I felt strongly about, started there and worked my way down, sort of like a tiered system in a way. So this one, I generally had a feel with what I was going to do, but there really isn't too much of a handicap here. Look at the state of the Vikings right now. Ask yourself if you really want to take 3 points now.
With Nick Mullins.
With Nick Mullins on the road. Do you want to take the Vikings here? On an unknown quarterback situation where Josh Dobbs is now the third in line. Looks like Jaron Hall will now be a backup. Which again, I really
He's
still
coming
do
one
think
of these
is
days.
weird.
One of these days.
One of these days he will. I think it's so weird that like he did not look that bad, but you know, do you want to take a back-to-back winner with Jake Browning and then Cincy 7-1 straight up all time at home against the Vikings? Is it Kevin Stefanski? I thought he was Browns. Maybe I wrote down the wrong coach, but you know, Vikings head coach 2-5 straight up, 3-3-1 ATS. Oh no, that's for the Vikings.
Kevin O'Connell, maybe.
Let me double check because yeah, that is the Browns. So is it Kevin
first
O'Connell?
game gonna be a long night.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, I did fuck that up. It is Kevin O'Connell. I wrote down Kevin Stefanski, and I was like, did I fuck that up? Okay, so Kevin O'Connell, 2-5 straight up, 3-3-1 ATS as road underdogs. Justin Jefferson got hurt again. Alexander Madison's out of practice. So is their right tackle. I mean, I'm not going to be one of these guys that's like, one of the talks now is Joe Burrow, just a system quarterback. I think that's fucking absurd. But at the same time, even if that was true, I think Cincy has to be the obvious play here. After a win, 23-14 with Coach Zach Taylor, 8-0 straight up, 7-0-1 ATS against their last 8 NFC opponents. Vikings, they're only 7-14 under O'Connell as underdogs, albeit they won 3 of their last 4. They've covered 4 straight. But I think at 3, unless you hammer the Bengals, I think when you get closer to 5, 6, then maybe you start looking at the Vikings. But this number's been going down, which I think is weird. But yeah, no, give me the Bengals for one more win. Still undefeated in December.
Yeah, which is surprising because I thought, I guess maybe the Jake Browning story is tempering off a little bit. Yeah, I think this is going to be Browning's toughest test to date, as we saw, what the Vikings did against the Raiders. But I'm with you on this one. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. It's a simple fact of, Cincinnati has won 8 straight against the NFC. I think you gave those numbers already. But it's more of a Vikings play to me. Like, their quarterback situation is so unstable. Josh Dobbs is the number 3 now. I got Nick Mullins. I don't know what I'm going to get from him. And you want me to lay essentially a field goal on the road in Cincinnati, where it seems like Cincinnati's been playing some decent football. I just have more faith in Browning than I do Mullins right now. So with that, it's Cincy or nothing for me. I actually like the under more. in this one. I just think the Vikings defense could hold Cincinnati, and I don't have high hopes for what to expect from Nick Mullins in this game. So I actually would look the under here.
I'm with you here. I liked it at under 39.5. I actually like it now more, obviously, at 40.5. Minnesota's defense, too, has actually been pretty good lately with Brian Flores. If you remember, he held the Chicago Bears to like 4 field goals, no offensive touchdowns, shut out the Raiders with 0. And I forget, there was like one other game. I think the Broncos game, it was like 22-21. Sorry, I forget what the score was there, but 22-21. And the Broncos like held them pretty good for, that was supposed to be a good offense. So I do expect Jake Browning to potentially have some struggles. I think Flores will come at him heavy with the blitz. I could see some sacks. But I just think the Bengals at home with 3, like you're looking at a push worst case scenario. But I see this being, less than a touchdown game. But I don't even think it needs to be that intense. I think it just needs to be the Bengals just need to get a lead, and then they just need to maintain it, and they'll get the win and cover.
Yeah.
All right. Next Saturday game, 4:30, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin, we're catching him as a road dog, +1.5 now, -102 on the money line. Going to Indianapolis, where the Colts are laying a 1.5, and they're -116. Over-under currently sits at 42.5. And look at here, the Colts as a public favorite, 70% of the bets on the spread. They're getting 66% of the money. Both are 7-6 records, but the Colts have the slight edge on the spread. Big under team versus big over team. Money Mansmann, where are we going?
Two close teams. Tough game. Pittsburgh +1.5. God, doesn't this look like and I talked about this too. Late in the season, I want the teams with pedigree. God, this looks like a Mike Tomlin spot, doesn't it? Team coming off a dreadful loss in New England. The public has completely abandoned the Steelers. They suck. They're no good. They're road dogs. Well, they've covered 4 straight as road dogs after losses. And if if you've been looking at the Colts, their numbers are actually better on the road than at home.
Yeah.
I could see the Steelers pulling this one out. This just seems like a game the Steelers win to sort of save their season. This to me reeks of an eliminator game. Loser's going to have 7 losses.
Yeah,
I think that could potentially sort of knock out the losing team here. So in this eliminator game, if I had to trust it, and if you remember in the first slate of Saturday games last year, remember the Colts blew that late game to Minnesota. I wonder if we get a repeat of that here. So I'll take the Steelers.
Do you remember who the head coach was at the time?
Jeffrey Saturday.
Yeah,
blowing
correct.
Games on his namesake.
Beat Josh McDaniels, was up 30. What was it? 38
against 31-3 or something.
31-3 against Kirk Thuggins, and let them come back and win. If you ever are curious to get the post game thoughts, Jeff Saturday did an interview with Pat McAfee about it, and he literally was like, "I was scared shitless." I was like, "Guys, we need to go out in the second half and keep the gas on the pedal, or they're gonna beat us." And sure as shit, that's what happened. But look, this is the potential donkey pick of the week. I'm not backing the Steelers here. I should. Everything you said makes sense. Everything tells me I should do it. I can't. And I'm not declaring an exact auto fade on the Steelers yet, but they have been dangerously close. If this was Kenny Pickett, I would be 100% on your side. I would be supporting you. I'm not backing Mitch Trubisky when it's under a field goal.
Do we know is Jonathan Taylor playing? Do we know?
No, he's out.
Oh.
Jonathan Taylor's out. And TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith for the Steelers, expected to start out of concussion protocol.
Ooh.
I got burned last week betting on the Steelers team, and yeah, he's getting 10 days rest. The Colts, they're coming off that blowout loss to the Cincinnati Bengals and Jake Browning. And like you said with Mike Tomlin, he's a road dog. They're 5-1 straight up in ATS in their last 6 as such. Mitch Trubisky actually on the road 2-1 with the Pittsburgh Steelers as a starter. He's actually 6-3 straight up against the AFC teams on the road in his career. Recency bias, though, is what comes to mind, and I want no parts of the Steelers team. I think they are the biggest frauds in the AFC right now. In the last 4 games, the Steelers lost to DTR and the Browns as road underdogs. They did beat Jake Browning, but it was a 16-10 game where they were losing in the first half. They then lost to Kyler Murray at home, despite the numerous rain delays, and then they go and lose to Bailey Zappi on Thursday Night Football, despite shutting down the New England Patriots in the second half and having multiple opportunities to take the lead. I think this Steelers team and this Steelers offense is just out of excuses. I think the book has been written on them. I think teams know who they are, and they are just too inconsistent. Their quarterback room is no good. The Colts, history is completely against them. This is another reason you should probably listen to Money Mansmann here and ignore everything I'm saying. The Colts are 6-27 all time against the Steelers. They have lost 9 of their last 10 matchups. The Colts are only 3-3 straight up. They are 3-3 ATS, 2-4 straight up at home this season. The Colts have been really bad at home for a while. They're 8-15 straight up, 10-13 since ATS since 2021, and they've only covered twice as home favorites since 2022. You look at these two teams at the end of the day, here's my opinion. The Steelers are frauds. The Steelers are no good. Like, they are a one and done playoff team at best. The Colts, I still think, are a dark horse contender here. When Gardner Minshew is when he's on his A game, there are a lot of teams he can beat. There's more teams he can beat than teams that could beat him on his good day, in my opinion. And I would rather back the Colts here. Like, if I had to lay my money on it. And this is the kind of game where I agree with you. I think this is like the playoffs. I think if you're the Colts, this is a playoff game. You need to win this game if you want to make the playoffs.
Yeah, this is an eliminator game. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's a Barney handicap from you. Very Barney.
It is, but I just I saw Mitch Trubisky. I won't know.
I'm not win too. I mean, Barney's win too sometimes.
You're 100%. Well, Barney's on the side of the Colts. I mean, you're right. But Barney wins. We'll see. This is actually going to be an underplay for me, under 42.5, only because of what you said, that the Colts have struggled at home. But Mitch Trubisky, again, from what I've seen, the guy can't produce on offense. The Steelers' offense has just been beyond dreadful this year. And I could just see this being an ugly Colts win, 21-17. And they get this. I don't expect a lot of scoring here. This is going to be an ugly Saturday game. I don't expect too much. But you're getting TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith back, so I can see Gardner Minshew struggling.
Which will help the under, I think. Yeah. I agree.
Agreed, yeah. Well, what's your take? Over under 42?
No, I agree for the same reasons. I mean, I like Pittsburgh, so I don't see Pittsburgh winning a shootout. But yeah, the Colts offense hasn't been playing that well and has struggled without Jonathan Taylor, especially recently. I think they're only running at a clip of maybe 2.2 yards a carry or something. Yeah,
Zach Moss.
On my short podcast, they were talking about it, that without Taylor, they've had a significant decrease in running efficiency. So
Zach Moss, big disappointment. Traded for him in fantasy.
Now you're seeing the Zach Moss that Bills fans know and love.
Oh boy, yeah. All right.
Introduce the next game. I'm just going to go off screen for a minute, but I will hear what you're saying.
I'll go 2 in a row here. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to go.
Dark. All right. Mansmann's dark. It's Saturday night. Cue Panic at the Disco. It's Saturday night. The Denver Broncos are traveling to the Detroit Lions as 4.5-point road dogs, plus 184 on the money line. The Detroit Lions minus 220 home favorites. The over-under is 47.5. Denver getting the bets at 53%. but the Lions are getting what looks like to be the sharp money at 57%. So pretty slight edge on both teams, but you could say it's even, in my opinion. Okay, so this is going to go against my handicaps from last week, which honestly I should be doing more of because of how terrible I've been. I get why people would want to fade the Broncos in the spot, but not me. And this isn't even fandom talking. Trust me, like, had we lost to a backup quarterback from the Chargers, I'd be fading the fuck out of this team the rest of the year. Give me my dog of the week, the Denver Broncos, plus 188. This is just more about Dan Campbell's inconsistency at coaching and the Lions just looking like they are imploding. And not like Carolina Panthers imploding, but more like that their defense cannot stop anything that comes their direction. Jared Goff is throwing picks to everyone left and right. They are reverting back to that 2021 dreadful Detroit Lions, that kind of imploding. Jared Goff has had 8 turnovers in the last 3 games, and that is going to be the big key to this Denver Broncos success in this game, is going to be by creating these turnover opportunities. Normally, I would say this: Broncos on the road, you fade them. Lions at home, you take them. I did it last week when the Broncos took on the Chargers. I didn't expect Justin Herbert to get hurt. But yeah, the Broncos have actually had great success against the NFC North. 5 straight wins against the NFC North. They're 3-1-1 ATS. And Denver has beaten Detroit in the last 3 head-to-head matchups, including, if Jason remembers, the Demaryius Thomas Memorial game in Denver.
Oh, of course I remember that one.
And this is the week of the anniversary. So you have to wonder if guys like Cortland Sutton are going to be very highly motivated for this game. And I think for those of you who are expecting a Russell Wilson letdown on the road again, maybe him and Sierra did just have a newborn baby. So on one hand, it could be a distraction. On the other hand, maybe this is extra motivation for him. Russell Wilson, 3-1 straight up in his career against Detroit. That should speak for something as well. I mean, and let's just say for the sake of argument, you're listening to this and saying, well, Big Bucks, like, you've been sucking dick for 3 weeks. Like, why the hell should I listen to you? Like, it just sounds like I should be taking Detroit. Explain to me this. How do you take this Lions defense right now? Their first 8 games, opponents only averaging 20 points per game, 20.6. Only the Ravens, the Panthers, and the Seahawks managed to get over 20 on this team. But think about that for 1 second. The Carolina Panthers put up 24 against the Detroit Lions. Looking at the last 5 games after their bye week, they are giving up almost 30 points per game, 29.8. And that includes the likes of, I shit you not, Justin Fields, Jordan Love, Derek Carr, and Justin Herbert. And I know a big part of those last 5 games, with maybe the exception of Green Bay, those teams have decent running backs and run games. That is going to lead to the second major key with the Broncos. They can establish the run. They have a running back committee that knows how to just shove the ball down your throat on the ground. And I think with these other teams showing how easy it was for them to do, Denver should have a field day on the field. I'm expecting a big offensive performance from Russell Wilson in this Broncos team. So, dog of the week, Denver Broncos.
Will you give me a incinerator bet on this? The Lions are not one of my best plays. They were almost one of my best plays. Will you give me a incinerator bet on this?
Do I get the points?
Yeah, 4.5. What is it, 4.5?
It's sitting at 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Yep. Okay, incinerator, 4.5.
I'll give you a incinerator. All right, guys. So for those of you who don't know the incinerator bet, this is the worst cinnamon whiskey of all time in our opinions. Incinerator, and loser is going to have to on air down. I think we only have one in here, but I think last time we doubled up. So I'll give you a double here. I'm actually this is my dog of the week. We'll double dog. Yeah, we'll do double incinerator. I'll give you that.
Oh, geez. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm going to win this one. I'm on the sharp side.
Sharps are on the. Actually, I've heard sharps are on the Broncos. So where is this coming from?
I can't take all the credit for this. It was a triple double best bet on the podcast I listened to.
Fezzik likes the Lions?
The Lions are finally at a number that is like reasonable compared to where their talent is. And when you look at it, Jared Goff much better in a dome. The Lions covered 6 straight ATS following a loss. Dan Campbell's been one of the most profitable coaches after a loss. We've always talked about the Lions ATS, and they're finally like at a number where I think it's a reasonable sort of number. And I mean,
so let me bring up my 3 points. You're not concerned about the Jared Goff turnovers, which you've seen live with Denver against your Bills. They know how to get picks. They know how to get the ball and can create those opportunities. I'll start there.
I don't know how sustainable it is for Denver to keep winning based on turnovers. I mean, no offense, you beat Easton Stick last week. And I was on Denver. Like, I was right there with you with the Broncos. Like, I'm not saying the Broncos are a scumbag bad team, but I think the Lions are clearly a step above. I think they're at home Saturday night. They're going to be amped up. Oh, and by the way, this, again, I can't take credit for this. Russell Wilson, one of the worst dome quarterbacks in the league.
I've heard
5
this,
and
yes.
11, I think.
That is true.
In the
He's
dome.
very bad in the dome. But I don't know, man. Like, I think this is a game you win in spite of Russell Wilson. I see Denver's. Bro, look at the last few games that the Detroit Lions have played. How can you... 4.5 even seems like it's a bit much.
See, I don't know, man. I think now's the time. If anything, you want to bet the Lions coming off those bad games because the Lions are the cheapest you're going to get them. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm buying high or buying low with Detroit and selling high with Denver. Let's be honest. Denver lost to Houston, beat Easton Stick, beat DTR. The Green Bay win doesn't look as good now. I mean, I'm not saying Denver didn't have a good run, but I don't know, man.
I mean, they beat your Bills with
for the Bills to make the playoffs. Denver needs to lose, so why not here? No, that's not really the reason. I don't know. I just have a good feeling about Detroit. Saturday night in a dome. The division games are over. This looks to me like a good get right spot. And I think I'm buying the Lions like Detroit as low as you're going to get them.
Detroit has 2 Minnesota games left to go. And the Dallas Cowboys.
So it makes this all the more reason why they need to win this game.
You know what? This isn't the worst handicap I've heard from you by any stretch of the imagination. But I'll double center rate on the... I'll give you a double
like I'm on the sharp side, and I'm getting a good number.
See, and I don't think it's the sharp side. I think Denver is the sharp side because
I just want Denver to make you drink. So you know me, like I'll do the incinerators just to see you drink. Like I ate that Rams one. This is my revenge. Like I feel good about this.
I'll give you. This will be fun. But I don't know, man. Like the more I think about it, I'm like I don't know how you back Detroit right now. The way they're looking, this is like the end of season sputter that I'm like. Like in the beginning of the season last year when they were looking bad, and then they started getting better, and it was like, oh, Detroit's becoming the sharp side to bet. I think it's the polar opposite. I think it's like we were on the sharp side, and now it's that end of year turnaround. Some of these teams are going to start sputtering, and they're just not going to be as good. And I don't see it with Detroit here. Now, and again, dog of the week, I do expect Denver to win. More of a spot play on the money line than it is the points. I think they're going to cover 4.5, no problem. But over under. This is an overplay for me actually. Only because Detroit's defense has been dreadful. They have been dog shit ever since that bye week. And I could see Russell Wilson. Like I said, Russell Wilson on the ground, Denver taking interceptions and turnovers. I could see that, and I could see Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown. They do have the two-headed beast of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery to deal with. So I could see Denver, getting burned up in the air with Amon-Ra or Josh Reynolds. It could be a back and forth shootout. I don't know.
No, I agree with you there. And there's actually a good number. I forgot what it was. Again, credit to the Dream Preview podcast. They were talking about how there's a number where with Jared Goff and the Lions, when they score like 13 points or fewer in a game, the following game they average like 34 points a game or something ridiculous.
No
This is
shit.
a good bounce back team. I just like the Lions on the bounce back.
AFC teams in non-conference road spots, 9-13 straight up. They're 10-11-1 ATS.
Oh, that's the side I want to be on. There we go.
In the last 4 weeks, they're 7-10 straight up, 4-11-2 ATS. A lot of those teams were favorites, though.
That is true. That's fair.
So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm looking forward to that. Jumping ahead to Sunday, oh boy, we got the Tampa Bay Bucks catching 3.5. Plus 152 road underdogs traveling all the way up north to Green Bay, where they are a minus 180 home favorite. The over-under 42.5. Green Bay currently getting 51% of the bets, 56% of the money. Coming off that loss against Tommy Cutlets. Money Mansmann, I went twice in a row. This one's all yours to start.
This will be a quick one. I think Green Bay is going to win. I'd go Tampa 3.5. Two close teams, NFC eliminator type feel of a game. I lean Green Bay at home, but I don't know, man. Green Bay, I was really high on them, and then they lost that game to the Giants. I don't know what Green Bay is. I don't know what Tampa is. Green Bay hasn't covered their last 4 as favorites against the NFC South, which isn't good. So to me, this looks like a teaser. Like I teased Tampa to like 9.5 and just let it ride. Like
that's a good teaser.
That's what I'm thinking. Like I don't want either side in this game. I think Green Bay is going to win. I have a feeling that it's going to be a 1 or 2 point game though, and the Tampa could cover. But yeah, Green Bay December against the warm weather team. It's hard not to back Green Bay, at least from a money line perspective. But I can't do 3.5 with this Green Bay team at this point. Can't trust them.
One more time, once again, I'm actually with you. I was gonna say give me the Packers, but I think I can't lay 3.5 either with Green Bay. But yeah, Green Bay to win. But this is like also like you could fade Baker Mayfield on the road, back-to-back road spot for the Buccaneers. And I'm not nearly as confident on this pick compared to like some of these other matchups and compared to even last week. But I just find it hard to see Baker winning back-to-back road spots in general. I know Jordan Love lost to Tommy effing Cutlets, Tommy DeVito, but I think you actually rewatch that game. The Giants in general just felt more and more like a trap game the closer it got to game time. They have been playing better with Tommy DeVito under center. The Giants defense has certainly been playing with some improvement. They held Jordan Love to 1 touchdown, and they held him 5-14 on third down attempts. And I think that was just kind of the narrative of the game. The Giants defense kept it close. Jordan Love, even with that mediocre performance in the 2-minute drill, albeit it was off of a fumble recovery, he led the Packers to a game-leading drive on Monday night with 1:30 to go. The Packers defense is just inevitably what did cost him in the end. And you look at the Bucs defense, they just gave up 434 yards to Desmond Ridder and the Falcons. Ridder had 340 yards passing. Baker Mayfield had 150. And he just, I hate to say it, he got lucky. He got lucky that Atlanta sucks. And they suck ass in like those types of games. I don't know how well this Tampa team is going to do going from a dome game, going back to Tampa. Now you're going to the winter tundra of Green Bay. Yeah, I think this is actually for me, like if I was going to, I'd tease Green Bay down. Because if Tampa's going to win, they're going to win by less than a field goal. That's my opinion. But if Green Bay is going to win, they're going to like, I have a feeling Green Bay is going to have like a revenge spot. So, but yeah, I think at the end of the day, looking at this 3.5, I normally like to take the 3.5 when I'm confident on the home team, but yeah, with you never know with Baker Mayfield or this Packers team. So, yeah. Bucks
and
plus 3.5.
For the reasons you described over, you can't trust Tampa's defense to get enough stops, and I think it'll be a close game. So, in a close game where two teams might score, disappearing. Two teams where they both score like around 20. I think this could be a
24-21.
Exactly, yeah. Can't you see this being like a 24-22, 24-21 type game?
Just like last week on Monday Night Football, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, to be honest with you, Tampa just completely lays an egg. Don't you see Green Bay getting 35 and Tampa like 14? Just an ugly game. Like, that's the worst case scenario.
I mean, I could see it. Yeah, it's hard. This is a low confidence game. I'm not really going to play this one.
Fair enough. All right, moving on. We got another shit NFC matchup. It is the New Orleans Saints laying 5.5 once again as a home favorite, minus 250. This time they are getting Tommy Cutlets and the New York Giants, plus 5.5, 205 on the money line. Over under is 39.5, and the Giants are a public underdog. 66% of the money and 67% of the bets in favor of the New York Giants. Excuse me. Over under 39.5.
Oh, I guess 2 in a row for me, right?
Yeah, I'll let you go again, sure.
Good. I'm glad you will. This is Barney play. Dog of the week.
You're going with the Cutlets.
Give me Tommy Cutlets and the Giants.
Oh, boy.
Saints. 7 straight failed covers following a win. One of the worst ATS home teams in football. Dennis Allen. What's his name? Derek Carr. Arguing with his fucking offensive lineman.
Oh God, yeah, that.
Why? I mean, why are the Saints a 6? Well, I when I did it, it was 6 there. Why are the Saints 5.5 point favorites against any team in football? Much less a team that's playing hard, motivated to end the year. Now, again, I'm not going to overhype the Giants. They are what they are. They're a scrappy little motivated team that they're playing behind a fun little cutesy story and whatever. But the Saints should not be 5.5 point favorites in any game. I don't trust the Saints at all. It's time to make my Kaser bet back. Time to start, hedging that bet.
Yep.
New York Giants. I think the New York Giants win this game outright, actually. So, and that's one of the rare ones. So I will definitely take the 5.5. I already have a small bet on the Giants to win. There will be a larger bet on the Giants to win.
I can't. That is shocking. I did not expect you to make this your dog of the week. I had a gut feeling you were going to make this like an underdog play, though. This is actually my fade of the week. We are fading the shit. I did it last week. I thought I was on the right side, and I'm doubling down on this. And literally, I'm going to run this handicap back. Fade of the week. Fade the Saints as home favorites. They literally beat the Carolina Panthers.
Exactly.
Everybody beats the Carolina Panthers, evidently, unless you're the Houston Texans. And I was not impressed with what I saw from the New Orleans Saints. I think I had the right handicap. It was just the wrong week, which, I call it the Mansmann. Right handicap, wrong week. Derek Carr played like utter trash for 3 quarters of that
37 game. Yards passing through 3 quarters.
6-14, for Christ's sakes, was the score. Somebody should sit down. Somebody should go get my wife and sit her down and explain that Derek Carr throws less than 120 passing yards and that it was a 1-score game going into the 4th and that the Panthers were so bad they lost by 22 points. Dennis Allen's lack of leadership, too, is starting to be evident here with that. You're fighting your own fucking center, for Christ's sakes. Derek Carr, by the way, good old Christian boy, was a leader of the Raiders for God knows how many years, was a leader of men, he's now resorted to yelling and fighting his center.
Hey, it's okay. He got all of the offensive linemen steaks and grills for Christmas, so it's all good.
Are you fucking kidding me? Steaks and grills.
I mean, the receivers got diamond watches and shit, but hey,
I mean, really, really, your bullshit receivers, your bullshit, potential, criminal receivers who have assault charges, And look, I'll say this. I'm going to shit on Chris Olave for his arrest. It was reckless driving. He was doing 70 and a 35. It's not what you want to see, but like in all of the things in the fucking world that like receivers are known to normally get arrested for, this is like nothing in comparison. So for the sake of the bit, I'm going to shit on it, but just know, like, I don't think it's that crazy. Like, but yeah, like you're going to get those guys like jewelry encrusted watches and all this shit. But oh, your offensive lineman who you were just yelling at. Here, fatso. Here's a steak and a grill. I know you love to eat.
Well, I mean maybe not that guy. That guy might not have.
I don't fucking bro. The Saints have been favorites 11 times. They've covered twice. Dennis Allen is 3-13 in one ATS as a favorite coaching the Saints. We're getting him to. Let's be honest. We're getting him to win by a touchdown again. And the Saints, after a win since Sean Payton has left, like you said, it is worse in the NFL. 5-14 in one ATS. They're 8-12 straight up after 20 wins since 2021. Tommy DeVito just did the impossible, according to Daniel Jones. He won a primetime game. He's won and covered 3 straight. I want to fade Tommy DeVito. Not here, though. Not yet. The Giants defense has been too good.
You're not getting the number to do it, though. Like, you're not getting the number to do it.
No, Giants defense, they're actually productive. 6 turnovers in the last 2 games. Derek Carr, this could be the end of Derek Carr's career. Yeah, I'm with you. Give me the fuck it. Giants money line. I'll round. I might parlay it with Denver. I don't care if it loses. I may just re-hedge it Sunday. Yeah, fuck it. Giants all the way. Let's go.
There you go.
And this is actually only because I think it'll be a Giants defensive game. I don't expect Tommy DeVito to get like a 30 burger or anything. This is an underplay. We're under 39.5 now.
I'm going over because I have no trust in the Saints defense. That, I mean, yeah, you stop Carolina from scoring. That's like stopping a college team. Other than that, they've been dreadful. So I'd lean over, but not favorite play.
Both teams are dead under teams. They're both 4-9 on the over-under record. Under.
See, I have no trust in the Saints to get an under, but I could be wrong. I know it. I think the home, especially, they're an under team at home.
Yeah, I think so. So doesn't hurt. All right, moving on. We got our first divisional matchup. It's the Atlanta Falcons traveling off that loss to Tampa Bay, back-to-back division games, going to Carolina. 3-point road favorites, -158 for Desmond Ridder and the Falcons. Panthers +134, +3. Over-under, I think it's the lowest on the card this week, 33.5. Atlanta getting 82% of the money in the bets. Oh, God, this is another shit handicap and a shit game that I honestly won 0 parts of. Carolina's on auto fade. I'm running that handicap. Like, I got away from it last week. I got burned. Carolina's on auto fade. They're the worst team in football. Don't take them. Like, you have to be out of your mind here. I don't want to bet Atlanta on the road, though, but I'm never betting on Carolina again until further notice. I make the argument the Falcons actually own the Carolina Panthers. They've won 4 of their last 5 in Carolina. They've won 9 of the last 12 matchups in both locations. Desmond Ridder on the road, I hate to say it, that's the play. He's 4-1 straight up in ATS against division opponents now, and this is a low number. It's worth a bet. I doubt I play it personally, but like I'm advocating Atlanta.
Yeah. Under of the week. I'm doing the big bucks under the big bucks under special. Reason why, supposed to be really bad weather, windy, rainy, 2 pitiful offenses. Carolina can't score in a dome. I have no faith that they'll even be able to get like 5 yards in this game. This is going to be a punty slop fest. Falcons, I mean, you have to bet the Falcons. Like, literally, Carolina, a 3-point underdog in anything. It's almost like automatic at this point.
Yeah.
You have to bet on the other team. So, yeah.
You have to wonder if you're missing something here. Like, I mean, Carolina, 6 points last week, 18 the week before, 10 before that, 10 before that, 13, 15. It's been over a month and a half before they've gotten to 20.
And especially with the weather. Again, I hate to do it because I feel like every time I make these weather handicaps, it's not as bad as I think. But supposedly, it's supposed to be like a really bad storm out east. Again, dear God, house needs a break. Please stop raining. But
yeah, it is gonna rain. I don't know how bad, but I do see precipitation 90%.
yeah, supposedly we're supposed to get like an inch or two.
Yeah, I know.
Night.
The weather's going to be great this weekend out here in Maryland, and then we're going to get this shit. So
get your towels out. Get your
get your towels. It's going to be ugly. You're going to need something to cry in. God, what would an Atlanta -3 under 33.5 play be?
3-1.
2.3 to 1.
Oh, there you go.
No, that's not too bad. Okay, let's move on.
Next.
Yeah, I'm with you, by the way, under 33.5. It's going to be dreadful. Next division matchup, the Houston Texans catching 3.5 on the road, plus 164. They're going to Will Levis's house, Mike Vrabel, Tennessee Titans, minus 196, home favorite, minus 3.5, over under 36.5. Looks like Tennessee is getting the money and the spread, the bets on the spread here, despite the fact that the Titans are only 5-8. They do share 6-7 spread record with the Texans. Yeah, I don't really have too much for this game. I think this was the hardest one I thought to handicap, and I don't know if it was from lack of time or I normally don't want to back Mike Vrabel as a home favorite. I like backing him as a home underdog. If at the end of the day, it's the Titans at home once again. They're coming off a good comeback win, and normally that's a spot I would want to fade, but I just wonder if that lit a spark with this Titans offense that they were sorely missing for the last few weeks. Now they're going to come back and get maybe CJ Stroud, maybe Davis. If they get Davis Mills, this 3.5 is a lock. But no Nico Collins. I forget the other receiver, but he's not going to be
Tank
there.
Dell.
Yeah, no Tank Dell, no Nico Collins.
I don't think you're getting CJ Stroud, man.
I think it's going to be a Davis Mills. And
did he practice today? Did CJ Stroud practice?
I'll take a look, but this is like a Titans or nothing play, and I'm ignoring the history. I'm ignoring all the bullshit. It's just it's Titans or nothing here because the Texans are just so hurt right now. I don't know if it's a team I would want to back right now, and especially if it's Davis Mills under center. CJ Stroud doubtful.
Yeah, so this was very close to a best bet. The number just got a little too high for it. The Texans are, think about it. Without CJ Stroud and their top two receivers, what is this, like a bottom 5 team in the NFL? They're not good. No. Without those guys, without CJ Stroud. Like Davis Mills, we've seen this story before. He's no good. And it's weird because normally the AFC South system play, Texans won and covered 6 straight against the South as road underdogs. But like you said, you throw it away. There's no way you could back the Texans without CJ Stroud. And the Titans are a better team at home. But like you said, I don't really like to bet teams coming off of miracle wins. I guess there's a question of how much the last win was a miracle, although I don't know. I know there were some sharps that said, well, the game was really a lot closer than 27-13 with 4 minutes left. At the end of the day, they were 98.2% to lose, and they won.
Yeah.
So, Titans are nothing. Titans are nothing here, and obviously underplay because Davis Mills sucks, and he's going to be throwing to nobody. So there we go.
Yeah, I guess under too. I'm not as strong on it. I have a bad feeling that this is the Titans' wake-up call. This is a big division spot. The Titans are still alive in the playoff race. I feel like this is especially if it is Davis Mills, I just feel like this is going to be a big Derrick Henry, big DeAndre Hopkins game. it's just going to be like nonstop offense. Will Levis not putting his foot off the pedal. I could see some pick sixes going on.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Vrabel is like a favorite. I feel like it's going to be a conservative game plan. 16-9 would not surprise me.
Or 25-9 like the Ravens. Yeah, I hear you. I don't fault you, but just concerned. All right. We have, Jesus Christ, we still have 3 1 o'clock games. New York Jets coming off the win against the Houston Texans. Speaking of, they're catching 9.5 now, plus 390 on the money line. Dolphins minus 510. Over under is a measly 37. Dolphins getting 60% of the money, 52%.
Another bad weather game. That's why I think.
Could be. Dolphins are nothing here. Look, I know Tyreek Hill's hurt, and that this is a big handicap, so I'll keep it simple. If Tyreek plays, bet the Dolphins. If he's out, bet the Dolphins. He's questionable and leaning towards playing, number one. But number two, the Jets are still on my auto fade list. I'm going to not rage about the other sharps who are probably going to say that the Jets defense could actually keep up with the Dolphins and maybe even win. I actually haven't heard that yet this week, though, so I'm happy to report that not angry at the sharps at the Jets at this game. But the Jets, I hate to say it, they're putting Zach Wilson in another road divisional matchup, 0-5 against the AFC East in his career. And the Jets have actually lost 10 straight now in road division games. They've only covered twice. Jets are only 4-6-1 ATS after a win. Miami is 2-1 ATS after a loss this year. They're 3-0 straight up. If I was playing a contest, I actually wouldn't be afraid to play the Dolphins here because this just looks like another, like if it's Jets plus 5.5 in the first half, doesn't it look like the play again would be Jets first half, Dolphins to win? I mean, I don't know what else to say other than like it's Dolphins or nothing.
So, by the way, just real quick before I get to this game, if the Jets win, what we're going to want to do, the minute the opening line for Jets Commanders comes out, you are going to want to bet heavily on the Jets because Aaron Rodgers will play next week and the Jets will probably beat the Commanders by like 35. So
Aaron Rodgers, there's no way he's coming back next week. No.
If the Jets win, I have a feeling he will be coming back. Do I think the Jets are going to win? No. I would go Jets 9.5. No.
It is a high number, but why?
I'm concerned. Like when you look at Tua's stat line the past few weeks, he hasn't been that good. Like other than the Commanders game, the Commanders have no defense. He wasn't great against the Titans. They didn't have an offensive touchdown. And he wasn't really good in the 2 weeks before either. I think only like 3 touchdowns, 1 interception in those other games. Like 3 of his last 4, he hasn't been great. Miami's offense hasn't been great. They beat the Raiders, I think, by 7 before that. They lost. They blew the lead to the Titans. The Commanders game's really the only game where they sort of like, whoop somebody. I don't know, especially like if there's bad weather, I could see this being a close game. This could be a Jets revenge spot for the Black Friday massacre and the bullshit with the Hail Mary. I mean, I don't know. I'm not buying into the Jets hype. As a Bills fan, I'd be ecstatic if the Jets could find a way to win. I don't think that's going to happen, but I could see this being an ugly, sloppy, winnable game that Zach Wilson has like 3 fumbles in.
I'm saying the weather's going to clear up by game time.
Really? Oh, interesting. Yes. Well, that's why I'm not really playing this game. And this to me is a game you wait day of, because if the weather clears up, I'd be on the Dolphins. But if it's going to be like a sloppy, ugly game, I'd go with the Jets.
Yeah, you wait to see. Tyreek Hill active, weather clear. Smash, 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 Dolphins minus 9.5.
Same thing too, over under. Like I need to see the weather, and if the weather clears, I'm going over. If the weather's bad, I'm going under. I might still go over. I actually like the over in this game.
Yeah, I think you're getting the Dolphins at a really low number at home. I think it's insane.
That is
So
true.
over.
The Sharp on my podcast was talking about that the look ahead was like 13 points, and it's down to like 9.5 now.
That's
Fair.
wild.
That is fair.
That's wild. Yeah, I'm. Oh God, is this really how we're gonna go? We'll see. I'm trying to see if I can build another dummy bet this week, just based on what we like. But all right, we'll jump to the. We got 2 more 1:00 games. This one's ugly, but I am very interested to get your opinion. I do want to hear what you have to say. It's the Chicago Bears traveling to Cleveland. They're 3-point road dogs, plus 134. Browns minus 158 at home, over under 38.5. And the Brownies are currently getting 58% of the bets on the spread and the money. Money Mansmann, dare we dream of a day Joe Flacco leads the Browns to the playoffs?
I mean, I think we're going to see it. Cleveland, I like Cleveland again this week. Look, you're buying Chicago very high for a team that I do not think is that good. I know Chicago's won 3 of their last 4. That includes that beating Carolina and the Vikings in that weird Monday night game. They had a good win last week at home. Cleveland 6-1 at home this year. Under a field, like at a field goal. Cleveland or nothing for me. I actually like Cleveland because, like I said, I just think you're getting the Bears at a really high price, and I don't think they're that good. I think Cleveland's the better all-around team. They play better at home. Their defense is generally better at home. Cleveland at home is the play.
Sure. Where is my notes for this game? Here we go. If I was handicapping this on a different angle this week, I would have made this the fade of the week. Fade the shit out of this Bears team and Justin Fields. The Bears have shockingly, and maybe not so shockingly, they've won 3 of their last 4. They've won 4. Had they won almost 4 straight, this would have been the fade of the week. But they got, literally last week was a revenge angle. They got their revenge against the Lions. And they played Carolina in prime time with Tyson Bagent, where they could have lost at any point in the fourth quarter had the Panthers, sustained a drive and, not sucked. And then they beat Josh Dobbs in Minnesota, where they almost blew it, but Justin Fields managed a game-winning drive where he had 0 touchdowns on offense, and Dobbs had to throw 4 picks. Remove the Lions game last week. The Bears defense is the highlight of the team, not the offense. And honestly, the Bears defense, they blew that first game against Detroit. I will also say this. Justin Fields has been winning games. He also hasn't been screwing up as much. He actually has yet to throw an interception since he returned from his injury. But I think this is a game you're going to get what happened with Minnesota, where, like I said, the Bears did win, but they also had to get 4 interceptions, and they won by not scoring a touchdown. Here's the difference, though, between this matchup. I have a lot more faith in Joe Flacco to keep the turnovers to a minimum here. I think he's willing to take the sacks, and I also think he's shown that he's very super effective in their passing game, which was sorely lacking all season with all these other Browns quarterbacks. This is just the Bears are going to be outclassed here, and they're going to be outcoached. I don't get the love here. This is a non-conference road spot for the Bears, where Cleveland has been very successful under coach Kevin Stefanski. Stefanski 7-2 straight up, 6-3 ATS at home against NFC teams. Justin Fields and the Bears are 2-5 straight up, 3-4 ATS in non-conference road games. And I'm actually going to play this. This is my under of the week. This is an under 38.5 play here. Cleveland just, I think, they're 2-6-1 towards the under in the 9 home games against the NFC under Stefanski. 5 of their 7 home games this year have hit the under, and Chicago has had 3 of the last 4 go under as well. And this is like a Cleveland's defense dominant get right spot here to me. And this is like class relief compared to the quarterbacks they've gone up against.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually, this is my over of the week.
Oh my God, we're going heads up.
Yeah. Again,
Oh
you know me with
no.
over-unders, that's not my strong suit. To me, it just looks like a low over for a Cleveland defense that, and I get your point about class relief. I mean, that is a good point, but they haven't been as good lately.
No, they have
Um,
been dreadful.
and,
And I
and,
was saying that.
and I don't know, like, I know Chicago's defense has been playing better. I'm just not sold on Chicago at all. I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop. I could see this being surprisingly maybe higher scoring, 26-17, not crazy, but high scoring
See,
enough
and
to
I don't even
get
see
us over.
Chicago getting. You know what? I may have to see that. What's Chicago's team total real quick? Because that might be a better play.
Because I don't have a lot of faith in this Cleveland defense either. I mean, they got a lot of accolades early in the year, and they were so much better than the rest of the league. I mean, I just wonder if they're regressing to the mean now.
Bears under 17.5 minus 120. I like that a lot.
What is it, 15?
17.5.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, that's playable. That is
Yeah.
playable.
Yep. So with that said, moving on.
Oh my God.
God, heads up over under bets. That is brutal. Okay, last 1:00 game. It's the Kansas City Chiefs laying 8.5 on the road, minus 420. They're traveling to Foxborough to take on the Patriots, and that's right, guys. Bailey Zappi plus 330, home underdog. Chiefs are getting 81% of the money in the bets. Over under is, though, a measly 37. I will double check the weather because maybe that's a key. But Money Mansmann, what's the play here? Are you backing Patrick Mahomes in a revenge spot, or are you going with the home dog?
This is tough because I see this being an under game just because I could see the Patriots defense keeping it close, and these teams have a tendency to play closer games. But I would have to go with the Chiefs on the bounce back. This is big class relief. New England's coming off a win to sort of stem the doubters. This is not a game they need to win. I think they've sort of, again, they played a good game Thursday night. They got the win. They got they got everyone off their backs. I don't know, man. After last week and all the crying and moaning, I kind of expect the Chiefs to get back down to business. I'm not confident in it. 8's a high number. But I'd have to go Chiefs or nothing here because I could just see the Chiefs getting back to business, sort of wanting to silence the doubters and making a statement against let's be honest, the ghost of the New England Patriots.
Yeah, literally on principle, I can't bet on the Chiefs here.
I don't know.
I'm not overthinking this one. The Chiefs are like you've said everything correct. Like the Chiefs are coming off back-to-back losses at home. They've lost 4 of their last 6. They're averaging 16 points on offense right now.
Not good.
Their response to last game against Buffalo was beyond pathetic, trying to blame the refs for Kadarius Toney lining up offsides. But honestly, what I'm seeing is these receivers are dropping everything thrown to them. All year, the Chiefs have gone 3-3 ATS on the road, and the Patriots have had their problems. Really, it's at the quarterback spot. They're getting 10 days rest. They are coming off a solid win against Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, where, you shut him out in the first half. Second half, you let him get 18. And they've been very dreadful all year. They just got their 3rd win. The Pats have only allowed 20 points per game on average at home all year. In the last 6 opponents, they only averaged 15. Albeit those were less powerful teams. The Chiefs are also only 2-4 ATS against the AFC East since 2021. They actually have only covered this number once on the road against the AFC East. I have to take the points with the Pats here. I think the Chiefs win.
I could see it.
Like, doesn't this just seem like another Chiefs struggle spot on not a primetime game, but Literally, like, you're going to go into Foxborough and everyone is just laying the points with the Chiefs, expecting the bounce back, and they just have another dud.
And Chiefs win by like 6, or they win by 4.
Yeah.
Could be.
Well, no, they'll win by 7. It'll be like a 2013 ugly game. Or 17-10. Like
23-17.
They'll go to kick 2 field goals and miss, you know. I could just see something crazy like that happening. I just don't know if I could get on the side with the Chiefs laying. I mean, you've lost 4 of your last 6. How are you getting 8.5 here? Like,
and you're not exactly like buying low on the Chiefs.
Yeah, and that's my problem. I think like this is a spot I'd want to buy low, but I'm not buying low.
Yeah, you're not buying that low.
So I think it's bad market dynamics personally, but I can't get behind it. So give me the Patriots plus 8.5. Over under 37. It's an underplay, but not confident. I only play the under because I think for my handicap to like be accurate, like the Patriots defense has to step up. The Chiefs defense is still no scrubs though. And Bailey Zappi, like, come on. I don't expect him to have a 3 touchdown game again. So under 37 is the play for me.
Yeah.
All right. 4:00 East Coast time. It's the Commies, the Washington Commanders, plus 6.5, plus 225 on the road, going out to the West Coast to take on the Los Angeles Rams, coming off that overtime loss to the Ravens. Minus 6.5 for the Rams, minus 275 at home. Over under is 50.5. Rams are getting 89% of the money, 77% of the bets. Yeah, not overthinking this one either. This is Washington's on auto fade. They're no good. They've lost 4 straight. They haven't covered in 3 straight. Now, the trends and the numbers would actually say you might want to take a chance on the Commies here. Rams' home favorites aren't exactly the best. The Commies are 4-3 straight up, 5-2 ATS on the road this year. But I think last week you have to wonder, like, there's 2 ways you could look at it. Was that the best you're going to get the Rams at? Now they're going to sputter too. Or is this a Rams team that's like showing you who they really are and that they are a dominant, threatening force? They are also a dark horse NFC team. So for me, I'm not overthinking it, laying the points with the Rams. Under a touchdown, I could do it.
Doesn't this feel like a line that should be higher? But I'm wondering if the books don't want to put it Washington like 7 or 7.5, because there's concern that like the big syndicates are gonna basically hammer Washington 7.5, and they're gonna like get killed.
Yeah,
and get middled by the sharps. Like that's what this feels like. I don't think it really matters.
Barney
I talked
Bester.
about it. This is my Chargers handicap all over again. Washington, dead team walking. Coach, lame duck. Defense, completely given up. Rams are in a tough spot. I'll give them that. Like going, East Coast to West Coast. But Washington, like they're a dead team walking. Over for the game. You can't put an over high enough. Washington may give up 50 themselves. So there you go.
Overplay for sure, definitely. Every reason you said too, and honestly, the Rams defense hasn't been anything to write home about either. Sam Howell's what, number 2 in passing yards? I could see this being honestly. I could see
shootout.
This could be a shootout. I'm with you there. Over 50.5. All right, next up. Division matchup number 3, I think. No, this is the 4th one. Last one. The San Francisco 49ers are laying 12.5 in a road spot, minus 770. They're going to see your favorite quarterback of all time, Kyler Murray, and the Arizona Cardinals, who are catching the 12.5, and they are currently a 5 plus 560, 5-1 home underdog. Over under 48 is the total. Niners obviously getting the money, 80%, 73% of the bets. All right, buddy. It's your favorite quarterback of all time, Kyler Murray. You backing him here?
Yeah, coming off the bye. Yeah, at home in division. That's a good way to lose money. Yeah. Arizona hasn't covered 6 straight against the NFC West. Let's back them. No, I can't do that. One of the sharps actually made this as over of the week because if you look at it, I think the last 4 games between these games, teams have gone over. So maybe you're looking for higher scoring. I'm actually looking a different way. Like Niners minus 12.5, another big number for the Niners. I just wonder, is this another game where the Niners get up big early and then sort of just enjoy the win? Now, I don't know, because San Fran clinches the division with a win, so maybe they just want to put that to bed and win and clinch the division. I actually like San Francisco first half because of that. They've won, I think, like 8 straight first halves now, or against the NFC or something like that. I don't think that's right. Point being, though, regardless, I think I have the number wrong there. But regardless, I expect San Fran to come out firing like early in the game. Division, they could win the division with a win. I think they come out strong early. The line is probably going to be 7.5 first half, maybe.
That's correct. 7.5, dead even money.
So, I mean, that's my play here because I think they come out strong the first half. They get up big early, and then whatever happens in garbage time, maybe they cover, maybe they don't. But at the end of the day, it's,
Yeah. No, it makes sense. This, I'm glad you said over of the week. This is my over of the week in actuality. So I'm going to do a reverse handicap. 4 in a row, like you mentioned, head to head, the scores hit this mark. And the Cardinals have actually had 6 straight go over at home. Kyler Murray, truth be told, I'm not saying he's better statistically for this offense because he isn't. He averages 20 points a game or just under 20 points in his 4 starts. Compared to the 8 without him, they were averaging just under 19. The Cardinals at home do perform better, though. They average 23 points per game at home compared to the 13 when they're on the road. Niners, they're averaging 29 a game, 28 on the road. And there's only 2 wins all year for the Niners where they haven't put up 30 or more. So this is a dead over game for me, in my opinion. And as for the pick, last week I took the Seattle Seahawks plus 13.5. And even with Drew Lock in, he managed to hit it. This is Kyler Murray as a division home underdog. I love nothing more than to see the chaos of Kyler Murray winning this game outright, just to see your face and your reaction, Mansmann, because I know how you feel. But there's legitimately no chance in hell for Kyler Murray here. Arizona, 1-7 straight up, 2-6 ATS as division home underdogs in Kyler's career. And maybe back in the day, they were playing closer matchups. You would take the 12.5, but now you're looking at 21-point skunk games. I think the average point differential in the last 3 or 4 has been 24 points. Like, I think one of the sharps on SGPN, he basically was like, yeah, my numbers and my thing, like, I'm ladder betting this up to 20.5 because this number's too low.
Yeah, and especially, like I said, I mean, I was even looking at Arizona like, well, is San Fran just going to sort of like not even be interested in this game? The fact that they could clinch the division with a win, I know it doesn't mean that much to like, it may not seem like it means that much. They're going to win the division anyway, but I don't know. It just gives them motivation that, like, if I'm betting Arizona, I don't want San Fran to have motivation in this game because, let's be honest, it's not even comparable the talent level between the 2 teams. So
not at all. All right. So speaking of comparable, last non-conference matchup here, we got the Dallas Cowboys now in charge of the NFC East and their own destiny, catching 1.5 and their road underdogs plus 116. The Bills minus 1.5, minus 136 at home, over under at 50. Dallas is a public dog, 50% on the money, but they're getting 60% of the tickets. This is your team, Money Mansmann. I always give you the honors. So,
well, I teased it before. You know what I'm going to say? Fade of the week: Buffalo Bills minus 1.5. And look, it's real simple. The handicap is simple. I'll give the weird number for this game first and then explain why the Bills are the play. The Bills have not covered 5 straight at home against the NFC. but they've actually won 5 straight as favorites against the NFC. That's like the weird number there.
They win but don't cover is basically a way to say it.
Although in this case, I mean, if they win, they're going to cover.
Unless it's a 1-point game.
Something weird, barring something weird. Look, Dallas has been a front-running team when they're at home, beating up on bad teams. I think other than the Eagles, I don't know if they've beaten I don't know if they've beaten a winning team like the whole year.
I'll look that up, but continue.
Yeah. Look, like it's going to be in Buffalo. It's going to be cold. The Bills Mafia is going to be active. And let's be honest, like to me, like normally I would say the Bills after the Chiefs. The Bills are coming off their Super Bowl. They're not allowed to come off their Super Bowl because they need to win every game to make the playoffs. I think Dallas is coming off of their Super Bowl. And now they have to go across the country, non-conference road spot to Buffalo in the cold, away from home where they haven't nearly been as good. I think it's just lining up well for the Bills. This is a game I thought the Bills were going to win like for a while now. And I do think that the Bills are the play in this game. I'm much more worried as a Bills fan. I mean, I could be proven wrong. I'm much more worried about them against like the Dolphins later in the year for that like revenge spot. But for now, I actually think this game lines up pretty well for the Bills. This is a good spot for them.
Let's go, Buffalo. Yeah, you might be turning me into a mini fan here. I'm not going to lie. My handicap is this. The Cowboys are just overdue for a letdown spot. Jesus Christ, does this smell fishy for them here. This just smells like this is the upset after they just beat the molly-whopping piss out of the Eagles. And by the way, I looked at their schedule. The Eagles are the first winning team above 500. Not at 500, above 500. They have beaten all year.
Jesus Christ, that's crazy.
And they have a look ahead at Miami right after. They host Detroit. They end the season with the Commanders. I'm literally looking right now. I have a bet already in with the Eagles to win the division. I am wondering right now if the Eagles are plus money to win the division. Because, God, don't you just see?
No, you know why? It's weird. This is a weird spot where if the Eagles and Cowboys both win out, the Eagles win the division.
Really?
Just because of weird tiebreakers, like a third tiebreaker, they'll win the division. Yeah. It's really weird.
That's actually wild. Okay, so
a lot of the folks were talking about betting Dallas like plus 240 to win the division because they think the Eagles aren't that good. But
I could see it.
I don't know, man. If Dallas loses this game, which I don't know, man, it's tough to see them going to Buffalo and winning.
Yeah, that I have a hard time believing that too. But yeah, no, Josh Allen, NFC team, he'll win. If he can't cover this, I mean, what kind of game are you expecting? I mean, Dak has been looking too perfect. And this is the part of the cycle of the Dallas Cowboys. Like, you're looking for that upset spot where like they start questioning things again before the playoffs. This has to be the spot.
My only concern for the defense and why I think I'm a little scared, Micah Hyde, AJ Epineza out for the game.
Ooh. Although I will say, the way Micah Hyde's been playing, I think you'll be all right.
DeMar Hamlin game.
Oh, Christ. All right, over under play. This is God, what did I have here? Over 50. I mean,
I should have the under. I think Dallas's offense might come out like it struggle. I know the Bills have a lot of guys hurt, and Dallas is number one in the league in scoring now. But I think a lot of that, I think they got fat on really bad teams at home.
Yeah, and
I think it's going to be
for
a
the
much
Bills,
bigger struggle for them.
This to me seems like a game where the Bills have to shoot out with Dak Prescott, and Dak Prescott's going to make mistakes left and right. But let's be honest, the Bills' defense is still suspect. They're still questionable.
Well,
and I think Josh Allen will just be able to do more. I think Dak Prescott will have one too many turnovers that might cost him. I see this being like a 28-24 type of game, 27-24. Like, I don't think it's going to be crazy.
That'll get it done. Yeah.
That's my point. Like, it'll be enough to get it done, but it won't be like a crazy game. All right. Prime time. Here we go. Sunday Night Football. It's the Baltimore Ravens coming off the overtime win. They're traveling to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're laying 3. They're minus 180 on the money line. Jags plus 152 at home. Over under 42.5. All right. I would have loved nothing more than to say that this is a run it back pick. This is now turned into more of a double. This is the double or nothing. I'm running it back, doubling down. Best bet, Baltimore Ravens. Minus 3.5.
Yeah.
Barney Bester, here we go. You know, look, here, I'll say this. If the Sharps can make the same handicap about a bad team for 6 weeks and get it right on the 6th week, you know what? Then I can run it back with this Baltimore as a favorite. Here's the difference, though. Here's why I'm actually not afraid. This is, like, you know me. Primetime Lamar Jackson. Love to bet on the guy. Love to make money on the guy. He's 14-4 in 18 primetime games. He's had 3 this year. He had Thursday Night Football against Cincy. He had the Chargers Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football against New Orleans. They went 3-0 straight up in ATS. Oh, and if you want to include the London games, 4-0 straight up in ATS. And I think Lamar has actually won 7 straight primetime. The last loss was in Miami back in 2021, Thursday night. Number 2, this is betting against the Jaguars at home. Trevor Lawrence did come back. He did not look that great. Like, I know people are like, well, he looked normal. He looked healthy. He looked all right. He didn't look that good to me. You lost to Cleveland.
Those now 3 interceptions didn't look good. That's for sure.
Yeah, the 3 interceptions did not look good. And now you're getting a Ravens defense who they just got torched by Matt Stafford. This is like the ultimate you get right here spot for this Ravens defense. And the road teams on Sunday Night Football have been very profitable. They're 8-2 straight up, 6-4 ATS since week 5. Jags, they're only 3-4 straight up in ATS at home all year. Ravens are 5-1 straight up, 4-2 ATS on the road. And if you think profiting on the Jags as home dogs is the move, it's not. They're 0-2 straight up in ATS this year.
Yeah, Jags are one of those reverse split teams that's been good on the road, and their offensive numbers at home have been like terrible. And I'm concerned about Jacksonville's defense. Their defense has not been playing nearly as well recently. I mean, you gave up 31 to Joe Flacco last week, albeit with some turnover help, but still not.
Yeah, but still,
been as good against the run either. Like, yeah, I'm with you.
And that 27-31 score was a very fraudulent score. They were down 10 within 2 minute drill, and then Evan Ingram just got that late touchdown.
Yeah, that is true. They got that garbage shit at the end to make it like a 4-point game.
Yeah, so Baltimore best bet, running it back here. Over 43.5.
Yes, 100% agree completely. Like, I think the Ravens, primetime Lamar, everything you said. I don't like the way the Jags have looked the past couple of weeks. That loss to Cleveland was bad. Yeah, that loss to Cincinnati was bad. I definitely think that Baltimore minus 3.5 is the way to go, and agree with you too. Over, especially the way the Jags defense is played.
All right, Monday night, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. They're laying 3, minus 168, traveling to Seattle, plus 42 with Geno Smith Monday night. Over and under 47.5. And as of now, the line dropped from 3.5 to 3, maybe even 4 to 3. Eagles getting most of the bets and the money. Yeah, I think it's your turn. So, like, what do you got here?
Sure. So
Finish strong.
if you've been paying attention, I haven't given my best bet out yet.
No shit, you have not. Really?
Now I have. Best bet, Philadelphia Eagles -3. Look, I know last week was a bad loss. I predicted Dallas would win handily. Maybe not as handily as they did. I don't buy the narrative. Like, I know the Eagles have won a lot of close games, and say what you will about that. I don't buy the narrative that, like, the Eagles went from, like, there were sharps all over them against Dallas. How could they be 3.5-point underdogs against Dallas? This is ridiculous. To now, oh, yeah, the Eagles, they're like, they suck. They're not even a top 10 team. I don't buy that.
They beat Kansas City Arrowhead, too, by the way.
To me, the Seahawks are, let's be honest, they're a sinking ship where they are trying to use water buckets to get the water out of the hold. Like, their quarterback's hurt. Maybe Geno's going to play. Maybe he's not. And I feel like I'm buying the Eagles low at -3 on the road. Now, I will say one stat against me. Seattle, 9 straight covers against the NFC East. That's not good. I don't care. I think you're buying the Eagles too low here. I've been terrible on Monday night. I haven't hit like the last 2 Monday nights. I'm not afraid. Best bet, Philadelphia Eagles in a bounce back.
Let's go. Yeah, this is Philadelphia or nothing here. Fly, Eagles, fly. Bounce back spot for the desperate Philadelphia team. They're now second place in the division. Do you really want this to be a position where, like, you give up a game and now you're a wild card and you have to go on the road? I don't think Philly wants to do that.
Just like after the Bills win, like, they're going to be super motivated after the Bills win.
Oh, 100%. And home teams, too, have not fared well on Monday night. They are currently 6-11 straight up. They're 5-11-1 ATS. And the Eagles, they're 4-2-1 ATS on the road this year. And Geno Smith is coming back supposedly from the groin injury. That should help the Seahawks if he is rested, but they're also underdogs. They've lost 6 straight as underdogs, albeit they've covered 3 of the last 4. But now that you're buying the Eagles super low here. It's kind of like what we talked about with what was the game we were just talking about? Not the Chiefs. It was I think it was Cleveland, or it was maybe Atlanta. I forget which game we were talking about, but we were talking about a game where it's like you want to buy a team low. You're trying to get a good number. This is a good number you could get Philly at right now if it's only 3.5 at this point. And to be honest it's only 3. I mean, I've had this handicap before. You buy the Philadelphia Eagles as low as you can, and you smash the shit out of it. And you take the books for what they have in their pockets, and this is the spot you just do it here. So, yeah, I don't care about Geno Smith Monday night. I don't care that he wrote all the haters back. I don't want to hear it. Like, the Seahawks, they're waiting for the season to be over. DK, go back and learn some sign language. I don't think I'm going to see it this week. Although DK better fucking show me some sign language week 16 and 17 for the fantasy fucking playoffs. But till then, this week, not happening. Philadelphia, fly Eagles, fly. Overplay as well for me. Or sorry, no, this is an underplay. I don't know what to expect from Seattle.
I have over because the Eagles' defense hasn't been good and Seattle's defense hasn't been good. So I could see it being like 38-24 or something with like a late Seattle touchdown, 38-17 or something.
See, but I think this is a bounce back for the Eagles' defense. I mean, especially if Drew Lock. If we get doubles for Drew on Monday night, like it might be bye-bye dipshit.
Yeah, no, you're right. It could be. It could be. Although Monday night games, I think the past few weeks have been high scoring, haven't they?
Maybe. Geno Smith feels really good. He did everything in the walkthrough. Yeah, he's back at practice in a limited fashion. So it looks like he's trending to start.
Good. I hope he does, and it goes to 2.5, and then I'll just literally like
Smash,
Eagles.
smash, smash.
Real quick, last point on this, and then we'll sort of give our brief wrap up. And I know it's late, so we could get this shit over with. But
yeah,
have you ever seen like a team where last year the Sharps were all over the Eagles? There was like a big syndicate that was just every game hammering the Eagles. And now this year, it seems like the Sharks just despise the Eagles. And all year, it's like looking every week to bet against them. I mean, I've not seen a 1 year like transformation that quick. Like,
you know what it is? What it is they believe it's probably like the Super Bowl hangover where they lost like you have to think the Eagles were such a good team last year. It just didn't seem like anybody was going to be able to score against them. You didn't know what they were going to do. And then just you saw the Super Bowl and Kansas City just literally had their way with them. And then you look at the way they've been playing this year and it's, night and day compared to last season. So for me, it's like that to me, like I get why they're against Philly, despite the fact that they are still winning. They're 10-3. They have a good ATS record, which I'm going to pull that up real quick. But, I will say, I don't know why there was such a big turnaround. But I think lately, too, like I've said before, they've had a rough gauntlet of games where they had tough opponents, top seeds in the conferences. So, at the end of the day for Philly, like if you want to keep fading them, go ahead. They're just going to keep winning.
Yeah.
And they're going to beat up on the bad team. So if you want to fucking lose money by betting against the Eagles, God bless. Unless it's like a top 5 team, I don't want to do it. Still don't want to do
it. Exactly.
And like last week with Dallas is they're a top 3 NFC team.
Well, that's a bad spot to begin with because the Eagles struggle in Dallas and it was a revenge spot after a close game, and it was Sunday night. Like there were so many things, and Dallas at home, like everything sort of was going against the Eagles. And I don't know, the downgrade off the Eagles, where basically now it's like, oh, they're not even a top 10 team. And come on, I think we went a little too far overboard there.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think at this point, like you need to just don't overthink it. I think that's been the problem, especially with some of these. Like you just overthink it, and some of these Sharps, they just get over analytical with it, and they're like, "Well, the Eagles don't put up the numbers they did last year, therefore they're not." Well, they're still winning.
Yeah,
it's like the Minnesota thing. It's like what I'd say with the Jets. Well, the Jets defense, they statistically could keep them in the game. Well, do they? Yeah. Have you watched the game?
1-5 now. 1-5 keeping them in the game.
Yeah, and like I said, now last point, I haven't heard so much of that this week. So again, some things do come out as a winner, but yeah, I got nothing else here. I'm gonna go over my best bets and then we'll get the hell out of here.
What are your best? What do you got?
Best bet of the week, favorite of the week, Baltimore Ravens -3.5. Dog of the week, give me my Denver Broncos +190. Fade of the week, take the Giants +5.5. We're fading the Saints as home favorites again. Running that back. Under of the week, under 38.5 for the Cleveland Browns, Chicago Bears. Over of the week, over 47.5 for the San Francisco 49ers and Arizona Cardinals.
Right. My best bet, Philadelphia Eagles -3 against the Seahawks.
Love it.
Dog of the week, same as your fade, New York Giants, 5.5-point underdogs against New Orleans. I would go money line. Fade of the week, Buffalo Bills -1.5. Fade in the Dallas Cowboys. Under of the week, Atlanta, Carolina, under 7 points in the game. You get the idea. Nobody scoring in that game. And then finally, my over of the week, let's give it a shot. Chicago, Cleveland over.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going real quick. We're going head to head on the over under. God, I'm scared of it. Tell you what, I know we said double for the Broncos game, but let's do 1-1-1.
All right, fine. I normally don't do it with over-unders, but whatever. We'll do that.
Actually, you know what? No, scratch that. Let's just see what happens this week. We'll just stick to the Broncos game. Let's just stick to the Broncos game. I've already got money on the Browns.
Let's see what happens with the over-under. How about this? With the over-under, if it's really bad one way or another, the loser will do one. But if it's close, we'll just call it even.
10-point swing.
Yeah, like if it's something bad, if it's like, 17-10 with, I'm even thinking real, like 17-6 or some shit, or,
Sure.
28-24 at halftime or something, yeah.
Yeah, 10-point swing. At the end of the day. So what is it, 38.5? So if it's 28 or 48.
Okay, that's fair.
There we go. We'll leave it at that. All right, I'm signing off. We've done all 15 goddamn games in the NFL Week 15. I am Steve, Big Bucks Beta.
Money Mansmann, signing off.
Signing off. As always, Money Mansmann, give him the message.
You'll make that motherfucking money.
Have a good night, D-Gents, and see you in